Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. Thanks for coming back to the channel. It's time for another freelance snapshot video. These are short little snippets that I do based on a conversation I had. Today it's about a comment from Elizabeth Villiger, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. She raised a question about freelancer plateau. She said she's been working about 4.5 years as a freelancer and recently hit the plateau, and she doesn't really know how to scale her business. She's been making the same revenue for 2.5 years. While she's happy, she's thinking how to evolve further. That is such a good question that many freelancers face at a certain point. You hit the plateau, which is a certain amount of revenue depending on your prices. The plateau amount can vary, right? That's not a set in stone amount, but it's basically the moment your manual effort hits a time ceiling. So you literally don't have more physical hours in the week to make more money. And that's at the same time a very happy moment. You should celebrate that, while at the same time it's also a bit scary as a freelancer. And we all hit that at a certain moment. It's mostly around 4 to 5 years. So what Elizabeth says works out exactly on my experience as well. There's a small moment when you realize, oh wow, I actually achieved full-time freelancing. I'm super happy. This is amazing. And basically the next moment, our brains are wired that way. The next moment you think, oh crap, what now? Like, how can I evolve further? You see all your friends and peers just like moving on the corporate ladders, becoming bosses and managers. And you just kind of think, I'm happy, but where do I go from here? How can I evolve? That's the mindset we all have, right? We always want to continue to evolve, to drive further. The driving force is not necessarily money all the time. Of course, that's a nice thing to have, but it's more just in life. You want to evolve, you want to move up the ladder. Otherwise, you feel like you're falling behind. That's why many freelancers, after hanging out, after enjoying the plateau for a while, they think to themselves, what now? How can I evolve? Most likely the answer is systems. I have 4 systems in mind that I personally have in place as well, that help me increase my revenue, scale my business. Some passively, some more actively. And I feel like every day you don't have systems in place. You're simply waiting for the next job, waiting for the next hustle to find this hustle mindset. Every day you don't have your systems in place, you're silently losing. So we want to switch that. So here are the 4 systems that I personally use and that I think every freelancer should use. The first one are productivity systems. The second one is outsourcing. The third one is passive income. And the fourth one is a mindset shift, let's call it. So let's look at productivity. That's probably the biggest bucket. You can put so much stuff in there that makes you just systems that make you quicker. If you work with a cut tool, you need to have a system in place that has all the previous filters that you've previously used already in place. So you don't actually start from scratch with every project in cut tools, because you always have to select the same things. This TM, this language combination, this client, etc. You need to have this automated, even though it's only what do you gain? Maybe 15-20 seconds a job, but over the week, over the years, it adds up, right? You have to think of all these little things. Create a project management system that works for you. It doesn't have to be fancy. Mine is still in Excel. I've tried other things. It's just the one that works for me. It just needs to be quick, efficient. You cannot miss any deadlines because of it, and you shouldn't spend too much time on it. But of course, you want to have your orders in a system that has a nice overview, because if you're just all over the place, just working on your inbox, you will miss things and you lose time as well. Try to automate admin as much as possible. Have an invoicing template that you can just switch out the clients quickly. All these things, all these systems are going to increase your productivity. In the same bucket, I would put things like express add-ons, minimal orders, exclusivity, if I could say it, add-on. That's an important one, because for certain sports tournaments, some clients want to have me exclusively. If they want that, I add an add-on on top of that, because I have to miss out on my other clients. Offer whole packages, focus on recurring clients. All of these are productivity tools that you have in your locker, with which you can save probably hours per week, and that's time is money as a freelancer, right? Second system, outsourcing. Pretty straightforward. Once you realize you don't have time to do more, you can have someone else do it. Pay them a decent wage, obviously, and then have the additional revenue of this outsourcing gig for you. This way you can make money without doing much. You just, do the assigning of the job. Of course, you need to make sure that you trust these people. Most likely you want to work with someone that you've previously worked with, that you know personally, maybe, you trust their work. For me, I have a couple of people, some even still from uni, that I collaborate with. Over the years, have collaborated for many years with them, so I trust their judgment. I don't even need to proofread what they do because I know that we align, and like this I can save a lot of time. We can exchange jobs with each other. When one has downtime, we can outsource a bit. Plus I can make money without actually working on the job, which is fantastic. The next one is passive income. If you are a freelancer, if you have the time pressure of actually being charged for what you produce, you want to create systems that make money for you while you sleep as well. I made a video on that a long time ago now. You can click here, all the passive income streams that I personally have set up. The most obvious one is this YouTube channel. In general, creating and monetizing content is a great way to make passive income in this day and age. It's not fully passive because you still have to actively work on creating the content, but once it's made, it's passive all year long. The videos that make the most money for me are not the ones I make weekly. These are the big view creating ones that I made years ago. So that's definitely a way to go. Another one is webinars. Live webinars or pre-recorded ones. You don't have to necessarily set it up yourself. You can also work with companies that provide webinars like Probst.com. People are always interested. Translastars is also another one. People are always interested to share their experience. So if you do have experience, reach out to these people. You can work on books, on ebooks that you can sell. If you have useful products or digital products to sell, if you have like a nice order management sheet or a calendar sheet that is useful for other freelancers, translators, you can sell these digital products on Etsy. All of them have initial workload involved, but once they're set up, they create passive income. So that's a great way to scale your business as well. And the last system is a mindset shift that I'm currently working on as well. So I think in the future as freelancers, we have to switch our focus because clients will not pay anymore for output in 5 to 10 years, let's say, but for insights. At the moment, we charge output, right? We have a certain amount of time that we can create output during the week and people pay for that. I don't think that's realistic in the future, especially in translation, because it will just become so interconnected, so quick, so rapid. We need to figure out how to sell insight rather than output. So you want to move your focus even earlier in the localization step, right? So maybe translation might even fall out of the localization step. And you want to make sure that if that happens, if translation is not needed anymore, that you are still needed. So you don't want to actually market yourself in as the translation workflow, but you want to be part of the localization workflow even beforehand. That's something I'm doing at the moment actively. I already found several clients that I work with in the idea creation, in the content creation phase. So the content is actually created in my locale rather than in another locale and then translated. So that's an interesting mindset shift that I think could potentially not only make you future-proof, but also create a business that you can scale, because it requires much less work hours to make the same impact at a client, if that makes sense. That's still a bit abstract. I haven't fully fleshed out this idea yet, but it's definitely a system that is more and more important. If you can figure out to work directly with your clients in the idea creation in your target language, they can save a step, they can save money on translation, and they have a more natural sounding text, because usually original texts sound more natural than translations because they have a purpose that goes into translation theory, right? You don't have to actually use the purpose of the source, but you actually have your own purpose as the target, when the target is the original. The target is the source in that sense. I hope that makes sense, Elizabeth. Thanks for the question. This was a freelance snapshot. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Look through the videos. There are probably close to 300 videos on freelancing, languages, self-employment, all the things you guys are interested in. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next, and I'll see you next Monday with the next one. Bye bye.